Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Plastic Adventures Sandbox portion of our show. We just got done doing plastic bits. We got done sharing some news, and now we're moving on to the topics, the
Yes.
discussion for it.
The sandbox, anything goes. Your catch-all for all things toy discussions and opinions, because we're old and we think you care.
That's right. And if there's one thing we have a lot of, it's opinions.
We do, certainly do. Yes.
About as many opinions as we have toys, and we have a lot of both.
Yeah. So what are we discussing today, Doug?
So I thought our topic would be what I'm going to call hits and misses, right? Of some of our current toy lines, which are still toy lines that we have going strong from the 80s. But pretty much in anything goes on this hit and misses. And what I mean by hit and misses is things that we think that certain toy lines or toy franchises did really well, and things that they did not do well.
Yeah. Yep. Well, do you want to start us off, or you want me to dig in here, brother?
I can start us off. So I will start off on one of my most favorite resurgence toy lines. Toy lines have been going on strong for this particular one for like, I think the last 3 years. But the Transformers War for Cybertron toys. This toy line has more hits than misses.
They don't even have toys that suck.
Well, I mean, there's probably one or two, but overall, the Transformers War for Cybertron line is. I saw somebody comment on in a forum somewhere, but I think they said it right when they said it's the poor man's masterpiece, right?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what it is, right? Because when you look at these things, this particular toy line did it right. They got the G1 aesthetic down. They got the upgraded transformations, and then they got the cartoon slash toy combination down perfectly. So. Yeah. They hit everything when you're looking for an upgraded toy line. This is what we mean when we say we want something old, we want something new, but don't change what we like. This is what we mean, right?
Yeah.
So
there's never been a nail hit so accurately on the head, man. And my only complaints about this line are some of the oddball repaints, maybe some scale, but every single one of these characters, when you look at what they have done to modernize them, it's like you said, straight out callback to the cartoons for the visual aesthetics. Upgraded, like updated vehicle modes on some.
Yeah,
but they're freaking perfect. Like, yeah. So there's some complaints about back kibble and weird.
Or
like
what some people have they have real beef with, like some of the void. Like in their arms, they have like, oh, there's too many holes.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot of those old toys, you transformed the original G1 Optimus Prime, and he had a hole all the way through him.
Oh yeah. I mean, so, I think holes are part of the transformer process, right? I mean, you got to.
You can't like cartoon your way into having a solid surface on a toy. I mean, parts have to go somewhere. So,
but what they did was they've done a really good job of making sure that those voids or those holes are not very well seen. They've done a good job of hiding.
Yeah, I mean, you put it on the shelf and it looks great.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I mean, all from Siege all the way to Kingdom, pretty much every figure has been a knock out of the park. Like, we'll give you a perfect example. Blaster from Kingdom. My gosh, that is a beautiful figure, and he transforms wonderfully. He's a perfect callback to the original G1 toy, but he looks a lot like the G1 cartoon as well. And so, the transformation is not difficult, it's fun. So it hits all of those check marks when we're talking about what do we want to see in a retro inspired toy line.
Yeah, and you're not going to find a single figure in this line whose whole of arm articulation is like the elbow joint.
Yeah.
And you're not going to find, like, hey, God bless it, I love the original Hound, but it looks like somebody put his arms in the dryer.
The little arms.
Yeah, like,
but man, but you know, they gave us all of our old characters, which is what we wanted, right? And they gave us probably the best version of Optimus Prime that you have ever found on a toy shelf ever.
yeah, especially at that price point when you're not talking like, you know, $100 plus for a knockoff type masterpiece.
Right.
Light of Freedom's a terrific figure, by the way, but yeah, I mean, it's, as far as retail only releases goes, never has there been a better Optimus Prime. And I'm going to tell you, if I was a kid and somebody gave me G1 Prime or they gave me Legacy Optimus Prime, I know what one looks like the cartoon and is a cooler figure. And I love G1 Prime. I got tons of them, but
as much as I love G1 Optimus Prime, and I love G1 Optimus Prime, if I go back to my kid, you know, me being a kid, and I had never seen one or the other, I'm going to pick Kingdom Optimus Prime over G1 because he's just so freaking cool looking. Looks like Optimus Prime, looks like the cartoon. He looks like how I would expect him to look. So if I had never seen G1 and had never played with him and didn't have grown up with him, Kingdom would have been #1 choice.
Yeah, and his fists are attached, so you never lose those. So I've got one for the miss category, and a few of these probably don't warrant high discussion, but I'm going to ask if you've seen them and what your thoughts are.
All right.
Okay, so I'm looking at Playmates, Ninja Turtles versus Street Fighter.
Okay. You want my
opinion? Have you seen them?
I have. I've seen the Ninja Turtles Playmates.
And this isn't like a crossover. This is like the one figure versus the one figure.
Mm-hmm. So again, a soft spot in my heart for Playmate Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But I don't know. What do you? Were you saying which one's better?
Oh no. This is my miss category.
Both of them?
Ninja Turtles versus Street Fighter.
Oh,
there's these 2 packs that are coming.
That's right.
And they are packaging up what I believe is the animated Ninja Turtle figures. No, they're not. They're a reissue of these weird looking turtles where they've got a paint wash on them.
With the
and they're gigantic. Yeah, they're gigantic. They're bigger than the Street Fighter characters. Okay. And the Street Fighter characters look like they're pulled straight from the USA Cartoon Express, like 1990, and they stink the joint out.
I have seen one. I remember now. I saw one at GameStop, and I did not like it.
No, I don't know what's going on there. Like the turtles. What I mean, if we're looking at like these classic franchises, right? You know, April was taller than the turtles in the cartoon.
Yes, very much so.
They're only supposed to be like 5 feet tall. And you've got like this giant hulking Donatello with, you know, packed in. I don't know if he's with like Ryu or Ken or what, but those guys are supposed to be darn near 6 foot. They're 5'10". So they don't even have their scale right. And it's just a lazy ass reissue of some existing turtle figures. And the things are like $50 a 2-pack. So I think that is a complete miss with those.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if
I'm looking at Hasbro on this next one, and we're sticking with turtles.
Okay.
The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers crossover Ninja Turtles. Have you seen those? Like wrecks of plastic?
I saw the Raphael one.
Stupid. They just look like fat Power Rangers. Like seriously, you want to talk about missing the mark? I don't know who's buying this. I mean, like the idea maybe is clicking along and that'd be neat. That's what the fans want. And then they give you like bloated spacesuit Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
Okay. I got another one. Power Rangers Cross Street Fighter. Another one where it's just a weirdly colored Power Ranger with a translucent effect. Power Rangers, Hasbro is killing with the Power Ranger line. They are terrific toys. Not these Power Rangers. When they touch Turtles and Street Fighter, they are just hot garbage.
So when somebody says Teenage Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, I remember what was it? The New Mutation
Oh
episode
no.
where the
Oh
live action
no.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles started fighting the Power Rangers, and I'm like, oh my,
That
so
was this.
I'm so glad I missed the boat on Power Rangers. Like, I'm so glad that was not in my childhood. I mean, I know some people love them, and it was theirs, and God bless them, they can have them. I was not a Power Rangers fan.
Well, I loved Voltron, and Power Rangers is sort of a spiritual cousin to Voltron, but
Yep.
the whole like kaiju plastic costume thing, it hit me too late when I was in high school. And like I said, Hasbro's doing a really good job honoring those original toys and making terrific new toys, but it just is not the crossovers. They are like the most horrible idea. I don't think they're gonna. I think those things are gonna go on clearance at Big Bad Toy Store pretty quickly. I don't think anybody's buying them.
Oh my gosh, no.
Are you looking at them?
Yeah, that's why I was like, I was trying to find this picture of them, and I'm like, oh my goodness, these things are not good. Let me see. There he is. I will share it. If just so that way people can see what it is that we are talking about.
I know, like Steve's being dramatic.
No, these really are not good.
Oh Christ! Like seriously,
look at it. That's just horrible. And look at their faces.
That head sculpt of Leonardo is pissed off at being a crappy head sculpt for a Power Ranger figure.
He looks like an Angry Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're not being over dramatic here, Steve.
And Donatello looks like he's saying, "Kill me."
I'm happy to be here.
So I'm sorry, I really got on the soapbox on some of these bad figures, but those are some of the worst ideas and worst executions in recent history that I can.
I will join you. I will say I absolutely agree. And I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love the NECA versions. I love that Playmates did some really cool re-releases of them, and those things are good, right? Those hit the classic collectors right where it should. Power Rangers came way too late in the game for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and so like I said, when somebody said that, I was like, we're New Mutation? People like that now? Is that a thing? That wasn't good when it was out.
Yeah. Well, here's a great idea. Let's do just one girl turtle and put her in there with a bunch of horny teenagers. Come on, man. It's okay. April O'Neil kicks ass. She's rad. She's an edgy reporter and she's fearless.
Yeah.
Venus was just sort of not the best idea to add to the mix. Plus, those things are just incredibly creepy costumes.
Their eyes are just the things of nightmares. Not good at all.
It looks like they secretly go backstage in between cuts and eat bowls full of kittens. They're awful.
Oh man. Okay, I'm going to tell you what my hit was.
Okay.
And I'm going to stay with Transformers. Okay. So talked about War for Cybertron. Something that was a hit that they did right, and then they just kind of let go of. They didn't come back to it. Were the retro reissues of the G1 classics.
Dude, where are they?
I don't know. They were popular. They were everywhere. Everybody loves it. Everybody loves them. And then all of a sudden, gone.
I mean,
they haven't come back to the discussion.
They have several assets still. I mean, I know a lot of the molds are lost, the original tooling, but I mean, you've got Thundercracker and Skywarp that we can still do because they're all based off of Starscream. Hell, maybe even the Coneheads. There's a ton to get to, and with the way that those were consumed and gobbled up, you rarely saw those go on clearance, even at stores where they had a lot of them.
No, and we've overused this term, but it's the only term that really fits when we're talking about toys and collectors like you and I. But that was the perfect retro done right. It was the G1 molds in the G1 boxes given to us exactly, I mean exactly the way that we remembered them.
Yeah, aside from the new plastic tray, but
that's like, that's neither
I
here
mean,
nor there.
yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect. And it's something that, collectors like you and I are like, yes, 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 yes. And then out of nowhere, it dropped. Nobody mentioned it again. Nobody came back to it. All these Transformer reveals and things like that. Nothing. No new thing. So that's both a hit and a miss as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
Because-
there's one miss.
What's that?
There's one miss, and it's the size of a big red semi. But at least you got part of that reissue.
Yes, yes, yes. But
But other than that, pretty flawless.
But it's a hit and miss in the fact that they miss the fact that we still want these.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what logistical issue is causing this, or if they feel like the consumers are buying too many of those high quality China knockoffs. Ding 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 ding
Wouldn't know
ding
what
ding
they're
ding ding
talking about.
ding 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 ding. I love them. I wish I could buy them from you, Hasbro, but you won't give them to me.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah,
who doesn't love those? A kid from our era, we gobbled them up. We ate them up, and we want more. And they were perfect. So it's a hit, but it's a miss. I'm mad.
Yep, unfortunately.
Yeah. What do you got?
You got another hit for me?
Well, not off the moment, but I can think of one while you're doing one.
O-Ring, G.I. Joe. I mean, the brand in general, but I have obviously they're not 100% the same as the original figures, but
True.
they're so damn good. The little nitpicks like the accessory loadouts, which I think should have mirrored the original releases.
I agree.
That's okay. You can deal with those because when you pop that off of the card, it feels like an O-ring. It feels like that figure. You bend them, you twist them, you tie a rope around the arm, and I mean, it adventures and plays like the original figure. And any collector can buy these and put them in their office and look over at that shelf on the office and be like, damn, I love those things. I remember when.
Yep.
I remember when. And that's the whole reason why we do this, why all of this exists, because you look at this and you say, oh man, I remember when.
Yep.
And O-rings,
that's all it's for. Right. You, me, we have our own remember wins, but it's the same. Even though we have a different memory, it's the same reason, right? And so when they give us these things, the Transformers, and they do it right, and then they drop it, that's what makes you mad. You did so well. Yeah.
Well, they had a run. We got some good ones out of it.
Yep. But yeah, absolutely, man. Those O-rings
and classified, another hit in my opinion.
Yeah. I think it had a shaky start. They released the figures in 6-inch, which were cool, which is what I think people wanted. They gave us a bit more of an updated design, and some people were for, some people were not. But when they started giving us the classified in the designs and in the classic character that we always knew and loved, that's when classified took off.
Yeah. And I mean, that is like right in lockstep with Masterverse, with Legacy. I mean, the three biggest brands of the 80s, and they all have taken course corrective actions, knowing who is consuming the product. Yep. And classified's amazing.
Yeah. The latest release just shows us that they keep giving us exactly what we want. The Storm Shadow release, the Spirit release, those are beautiful figures.
Oh, man, everything.
But you look at them and you can see the updates. I mean, obviously they're 6 inches, not 3 1/4 or 3 3/4. But you look at them and you go, that's Storm Shadow. That is spirit. And when you're playing as a kid with the 3 3/4 action figure, what are you seeing in your head? I'm seeing that, right? I'm seeing
Yeah.
that 6-inch figure with that much detail, even though he doesn't have that detail. As a kid, in my mind, he's got that much detail.
Yeah. Yep.
So to give us those figures is definitely in the right direction that they should be going.
Yep. You ready for a miss?
Always.
Page Punchers by McFarlane. I wanted to love these toys so bad. They are too small. And I'm talking like they have two different versions of Page Punchers. You've got 6-inch Page Punchers that come with a comic book, and those are actually pretty cool. I've seen the Superman and the Batman recently, but the little guys, they're like 5 points of articulation, but they're like 3 inches tall or something. They are tiny.
Yeah, I think, are these the ones
All I
I
would have
saw?
wanted was something to accompany my Marvel retros, because that's another one that they're doing right. But those smaller scale Page Punchers, there's nothing to scale them to, and you see it in real life, and it's just kind of a disappointment. You just want to walk away from them.
I saw these at Walmart. They had a huge like display of these things. But I'm trying to find a good picture that I can show. So like here, we'll share this so you can see what I'm talking about. So out of the box, they look like this. There's some good detail.
How cool is that? Five POA. They look like
it looks like their waist can move.
Oh yeah, so 6.
So 6. But you know, look how tiny. They're just so small.
Yeah, it's really difficult because you want to put those next to your Marvel retros that are out, you know, like the latest Marvel Legends and the 4-inch scale, and those guys scale to nothing. So that was pretty disappointing.
Yeah.
Hop into the other side of the fence though. So I just bagged on McFarlane for Page Punchers.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what doesn't suck from McFarlane?
What's that?
Everything else that they're doing for DC. Oh my God. It is like exhausting how good the figures are from those guys. I mean, they don't have quite as much articulation as a Marvel Legend, thank goodness, because it doesn't blow the sculpt. But
right.
Holy crap. If you ever wanted a great 6-inch scale superhero figure from DC, McFarlane is delivering every time. Even the weird, obscure, stupid figures, like characters that you'd never want to buy, all freaking awesome from McFarlane. My personal favorite would be their Dark Knight Returns, because we got a really great update of Batman, Robin. We got the Joker. I forget who the fourth one is for that series. Armored Batman.
That's the one that I got that's the one I got the Batman for, right?
No, I think that you got did you get the Pattinson Batman?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a different series. That's just the Batman. And guess what? That figure is awesome as hell.
Yeah.
You know, I bought one and I was gonna turn Cynthia onto it, and I liked it and ended up hoping she never came calling for it. So now I have one. It's cool as hell, and I love it. So you got McFarlane like sucking wind with Page Punchers, and then just destroying with their other 6-inch DC characters.
So you know what? Speaking of DC, so and toy lines that we'll never see. The only thing I was really kind of disappointed in them canceling the Flash movie with Michael Keaton was the inevitable toys that would have come out of that.
I don't think it's canceled yet.
Is it? I thought I saw that it was canceled.
I think they were teetering on the edge, and then Ezra Miller met with them. I think that movie so far has been like the highest. What do they call that when you test audiences?
Mm-hmm.
It's been the highest reviewed DC movie ever for test audiences.
Well, then I hope you're right.
Yeah, because, I mean that guy's life is a shit show.
But I'm not going to see the Flash for the Flash.
No, I need a Keaton Batman.
That's the only reason I want that movie. and the toy that's going to come along with that. You know, we're going to get a 6-inch Michael Keaton Batman from
Yeah,
this
dude,
movie.
I don't care if they put a big black box over all of his scenes that he's in and put canceled on the box and cancel the Flash out completely. I need a McFarlane Keaton Batman.
Yes.
I got that NECA movie Batman, and it's not that good.
Can you
know what I
imagine
mean?
just having one of these? Just
yeah, for the
that's
time.
the only that's what I want, man. That Keaton Batman that calls back to a 1989. Like, I know he's going to be a little updated. I've seen the suit; it's a little updated, but he still looks like Batman.
But that
Still
might
looks
mean
like-
that might mean though that the keys to the store are there to do
Yeah.
that classic 89 and then to do the updated one from this movie. I think there's still hope that it's going to see the light of day. Batgirl got flushed down the toilet because it was a super turd.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
But Keaton was in that movie too, reprising the role.
Oh, just don't cancel the toy, DC.
Yeah, tell me about
just
it.
give us the toy at least.
Full toy rollout. So we're on the hit side of the fence. Do you want another miss for McFarlane?
Yeah, give me a miss.
Superpowers.
The big ones?
Nope. I mean the ones that are on the superpowers cards. Have you seen these at your Walmart yet?
Yeah, they're big.
They're bigger, yeah. And they like half-assed it completely.
Superman doesn't look like Superman.
I think Superman's probably the closest to the original superpowers toy, but it sucks.
Yeah.
Batman sucks.
Yeah.
Darkseid looks nothing like the original one.
Mhm.
He's an update, and the Flash is kind of like the original Flash.
Yeah, I think I saw the
I've seen
Green
those.
Lantern at Walmart.
Yeah, so the Green Lantern is the
John Stewart.
Yeah, John Stewart one. But I mean, he's like reasonably sculpted to the original. But I mean, you talk about a line where it's like you do it all or nothing. That's retro done wrong.
That's
You
totally
stick these,
retro
like,
done wrong.
half-baked crap figures on retro cards, and they even have cool vehicles like the Supermobile and the Batwing.
But they did it wrong. If you're going to give it to us, you got to do it in the style that all of the other retro figures are done in. All the other companies have released them back into their original sizes with their original box arts. So they did the box art right. But if you give me a figure that's not 3 3/4 and you make it a 5-inch figure, I don't want it.
No, it doesn't, and they don't look right. Like they've tried to get some of the crappy sculpting details of the old figures and kind of blend it in, but it did not translate well. And I saw those on the shelf, and it was just an easy walk by for me.
Yep, absolutely.
I'm glad that you agree with those, because those things stink the joint out, man. They're awful.
So my miss is a newer version of the Masters of the Universe, not Masterverse, not Origins, CGI.
Yeah,
CGI He-Man. So I know the series got met with some pretty good reviews. I know some people like it. I think more people like it than they liked Revelation. But the toys are peg warmers, Steve. I go into both our Walmarts here in the Tri-Cities. They're everywhere. Nobody's buying those.
yeah. The Mount Vernon Walmart was so jammed with them that they were on the pegs for all the other figures, and they never cleared them off. So, and you know,
I don't think there's just enough interest for that as a toy. I just don't.
It breaks my heart to know that they're sucking up space in both the Origins line, and Masterverse is going to have versions of them. So okay, toy sculpting, toy features, toy presentation, they are very accurate to the cartoon.
Sure.
But the cartoon is, so the toys, they don't suck, but the designs are so far off, and I have no interest in picking that show up.
No.
I wish children would consume these, because the more they buy, the better for me. But
well, it's like we said with the Michael Bay Transformers. I hate them, but I love that people buy them.
Yeah, keep buying those junk covered insectoids, so that I can have the cool Transformers toys.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so you're right. The new Masters of the Universe animated, they're just, the aesthetic isn't hitting it for me. I don't think it's a miss from a design perspective. because of how good accurate they are, but I think it's a miss overall. It's only grabbing a teeny tiny. They're only hoping to grab a tiny part of a market which is continuously shrinking.
Yeah.
Kids are just not buying toys anymore at the rate that they used to because they have no imaginations and they want to play with a tablet and somebody else's playground instead of making their own.
Yep.
Um,
And that's why I mean that one's a miss. They misread their audience. They misread the need or the desire for this toy.
You know what the,
so
you know what
much
the
so
problem
that
is?
it's just everywhere.
The problem is there, Doug. You don't have a video game where He-Man can steal a car or beat a prostitute and get rewarded for it. That's the problem.
Thank God.
Grand Theft Eternia. Then you'd have kids all over it.
Oh God. Don't give anybody any ideas, Steve.
No one's picking that one up. Flipping back over to hits. This is the last on my list, but I think it's been one of the absolute best. Origins.
Yes. Origins is high on the list of hits as far as I'm concerned. Retro toy collector, it hits every box. It gives me the original figure with a slight update to articulation, which is something that even as a kid, we always wanted. So it's not like they didn't give us something we didn't want.
It doesn't really make the figures too ugly or get in the way. It was a smart articulation upgrade. It was.
And it was smart to release them on the original card art, make them in their original designs. So when you find one and you hold it in your hands, it's just like picking one up back in the 80s as a kid. I mean, you could put this right next to one from 1980s and it just maybe being a little bit shinier and no yellow bubble, but it would fit right in with
almost seamless. Yeah.
Almost perfectly. And so, that one, and you and I both have these toy displays behind us, and they're very similar. And it's because we wanted to recreate the 80s toy aisle feel. And so when we see Origins, we see O-Ring G.I. Joe, we see the original 5-point articulation Star Wars.
Yes.
And all the other ones like Ghostbusters, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that helps us with that feel that we're talking about. I remember when. And so when we set up these toy shelves, that was the feel that we're going for. And so Masters of the Universe Origin hit that on the nail. It hit the nail on the head. G.I. Joe finally caught up to us. They gave us a retro line before, but they gave us the old, weird, fully articulated figures on the retro art, and people were like, which apparently now, why are those so expensive now, Steve? They were not when I got them.
No, I have no idea. It's unfathomable to me that those 50th anniversary reissues on retro cards, and half the time they suck. They don't come with the right accessories. A lot of them are good figure sculpts, but it was just a terrible cash grab.
But well, apparently they're still worth something, and I don't know why.
Well, I think the problem is that Hasbro's bringing back the O-Ring, and maybe originally they were kind of thinking about a mass distribution or something for it, and they left Walmart holding their hands open waiting for their exclusive product. So they're like, well, we don't have O-Rings for you, but they'll never know.
They'll never know. We knew.
Well, right off the bat. And I saw screaming O-Face Duke, and it made me want to gag. It was just horrible.
But they course corrected.
Yeah.
And they went to O-Ring. Yep. Thank God. And so now when we put our displays together and we see all those wonderful toys on all those wonderful packages, that's where it hits home. And that's what we want, right? That's the whole,
exactly. Yep.
So yes, Masters of the Universe probably at the very top of that list, because the only thing different that they added to the packaging was a little tiny starburst that says retro play, right? Other than that, it's perfect. The Star Wars has the big red sticker retro right in the middle of the damn photograph. I get what they're going for, but at least the figure is right.
Yeah, and you know what? It only took one wave of Origins for them to course correct on those head sculpts for He-Man and Skeletor. That was it. That was all that they needed to take a look at and to address. And once they did the vintage style head sculpts, the world was right.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, you know, we've said it before. It's a great time to be a toy collector, a great time to be a retro toy collector. And so, you know, if you're out there, pick these up. Yeah. You're not gonna be disappointed.
Go gobble them up, guys, because it's not gonna last forever. Retro is gonna lose steam, and we're gonna all get old and die. So get it while you can.
With that, I think we're at our less than 1 minute mark. So we're gonna have to sign off and say thanks for joining us. Give us a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the toy aisle.